Thanks for signing up for this training. We are going to look at what a spiritual awakening or the journey looks like. It looks different for everybody, but there are some key pivotal moments and things that happen that might help you expedite your process and quantum leap into a future where you feel more comfortable with this process and healing yourself, because it doesn't have to be uncomfortable, and healing isn't something that continues forever, but the beginning stages of it is a lot more complex than it is once you start to build that resilience and confidence in yourself and trusting easier. So in spirituality, or more modern day spirituality, a lot of people talk about the feeling of needing to surrender and let go and waiting for divine timing. And all of these things kind of can be counterintuitive when you are beginning your path. Whether it's you or you've heard someone else tell you that, they've had some revelations and maybe they're taking distance from you. For example, if you're causing or you're creating triggers for them to arise, or maybe you are the one that's taking some time away from people around you in order to be able to start understanding and processing what is happening within your being, because now you're starting to take consciousness. Whatever stage you are at, this training is for you. Essentially, the journey is going to be very similar for everybody who decides to commit to this. Once you start to realize that you've been kind of on an autopilot, or letting life happen to you, or having constructed a reality of what you think life should be like based on other people's views or societal opinions, and you've just kind of accepted all these things within your reality, and now you're in a stage or in a place in your life where there's friction, or you yourself have just come to a realization, and there's epiphanies happening within your world. Some people describe it as dark night of the soul, because it's essentially a moment of death in order to have a rebirth, and in order to be able to grow and expand. And sometimes individuals will say it's a one-time thing. Growth is constant. The speed at which we grow will be different, and how much of it we actually feel of that growth will be different. It will always change throughout your life, depending on what aspects of yourself you're trying to heal, depending on how deep that karma or that traumatic event, or how deep the wounding goes, how many layers have been added on top with regards to that one specific topic. It all depends, and it does get easier over time. You do build resilience. It's like I tell my clients, you all of a sudden take realization and start to see the world for its beauty and what it is, and life and everything that is beyond us, our little story, our little square, our little matrix that we've integrated. And we start to realize that we don't have to be on autopilot. It's like when you face the sun. You face the sun and you feel the sun, and you feel the heat of the sun and the sun rays that are on you. And you know that your shadow is behind you, but you see the light, you feel the love of the universe, of what has created you, of what is helping you grow into something magnificent. But your shadow is always there. So if you were someone that lived always facing your shadow, and you weren't feeling really much, or weren't aware of the love and the light that the universe is constantly feeding you in order for you to grow, because we are part of nature, we are on this earth, we are not separate from it, you can start to shift and understand that there's other way of life. When you start to realize, oh my goodness, the source of everything that's love and light and that has allowed me to move through this world is the universe, it's source. And it resonates at the depth of your being. So this is what spirituality is about concretely. It's your connection to something that is bigger than yourself. It's your understanding that you are so just a sliver, a fraction of time and space, time within the entire existence of the earth. Think about how many civilizations came before us. Think about the era that we live in and how long that is. Think about how many years more we have to live and how that exists within the timeline of the earth. So when you start to come to understanding these things about us and us being here, and we start to search for like, what is the purpose, what's the meaning, it's just about us living. It's us living and filling all this time that we have when you think about it, because life, although it's short, it's still long. Think about how many years you have if you're lucky to be able to live until the end of a healthy human life. Think about how many hours that is, how many days already, okay? How many hours, how many minutes, how many seconds you still have, how many breathing in, breathing out, you still will be allowed to have here. It's absolutely beautiful. And when we start to take those realizations in, or we start to really feel it with every fiber of our soul, we start to realize that we're creating this reality with our mind and our senses and our eyes. But we also have a realm within us, an emotional realm from the heart. Like, what is love? Everyone has felt love, but we felt love and we've also felt grief, because the two coexist. Love and the absence of love are directly each other's opposite, and you cannot feel one without the other. Just like there is no light if there is no darkness. Without darkness, there is no light, right? So when you start to see these dualities, you can start to realize that, hey, there's always more than what meets my eyes, because I'm limited. Even if I look, I have a peripheral in front of me, and there's all this behind me that I cannot see at this very exact moment right now. Always, there's always some part that you cannot see. All you can do is try to focus your attention on what is actually important to you, to be able to shed light on things that need your attention, that need to be healed, that need help, things that you want to grow, wherever you want growth. So I tell my clients, or I give them this analogy to help. Once you start to face the sun and you realize, it's as if you start to understand that you have all this real estate, mental real estate, that's open to you. And when you're on autopilot, it's wild, it's a jungle, it's forest, it's beautiful in its own way, but it's chaotic. And if we want to go from surviving, where we are constantly in a state of needing to look for the next time we can feed ourselves, and we want to go to thriving, for example, where we've worked on different things and we have an abundance of food and nutrients and possibilities on this mental realm that we have, we then understand that we can actually decide what we do with this mental realm. We decide to make space in order to allow for us to be able to plant things, or even to be able to have, let's say, animals, or whatever it is that you want within this garden, in order to create sustainability for yourself and to be able to feed yourself constantly, regardless of what's going on, and not have to every single day over and over think about, what am I going to do to be able to feed myself, to feed my soul? Our mental realm feeds our soul. It connects us to our heart. And so when you start to realize that you can decide and plant what it is that you want, How do we start? It feels so overwhelming. Oh my God, this mess. I don't even have a little piece of land to be able to plant anything. It's a whole jungle out here. So you can start to plan what it is that you want to live in this space. What is it that you want in this space? You can start uprooting all the weeds that are going to be counterintuitive or counterproductive to the growth of what you want to plant. You're going to have to learn the skills and figure out proper soil to have rich soil for nutrients. You'll have to figure out an irrigation system to make sure that it's going to be fruitful. So you can do trial and error on your own, or you can go learn from people, get the skills in different places, because we are a community. The internet's a wonderful place because we have access to everybody and everything, and it's up to us to find what it is that we need, what it is that can help us. So if you're not already, do follow my page, because this is the work that I do, and you might be able to benefit from what it is that I put out. So the free content, sometimes I have free trainings. Those free trainings eventually go into a member vault, but there'll always be something there for you to look to, for you to find, and for you to enjoy, always. That's just a side note. But essentially in this garden, you're going to look for irrigation system. We can't really control the weather. We cannot. But we can figure out, right, how to protect the plants, if it has enough sun in order to be able to grow. And we also need water. We need to be able to water the plants, right? So all of this cycle of life, we have to use to our advantage. We go through cycles within our own being. Not only women with the cycle of their, menstrual cycle every month. Everyone. We are part of nature. Nature goes through cycles. 25% of your year is spent in winter, regardless of what winter looks like for you. There is a change. There's a change in the temperature. There's a change in the humidity. So this is a part of life. So we need to learn how to use those cycles to our advantage. And then we'll start to decide what kind of plants, what kind of seeds do I want to put in here? What is this seed going to give me? If you don't know, reach out to someone who does. Get help. Find tools in order to learn about what seeds are going to be good for you. You're going to start planting those seeds. And you can't be impatient. You can't water day in, day out. You water. You got to trust. This is what surrendering is. You still have to take action, and you have to trust. Because if you're just looking for that result right now, and you need the output right now, and you need proof, and you're not sure if it's happening and it's working, what's going to happen? You're going to get impatient. You're going to want to uproot the seeds, but you can't do that. The seed needs to be in the soil. It stays in the darkness before it's able to come out and grow. The same as babies. We stay in the stomach, in the mother's stomach, in the stomach of a woman, and we grow, and then eventually we go through a dark tunnel in order to come out to the light of this planet and this world and this time. So it's the same thing. You got to plant and trust. That is what surrendering is. But in the meantime, you're going to also have weeds that are going to pop up. And you have to get rid of those weeds. This is nurturing. This is nurturing your mental realm, what it is that you want to exist within your world. Your mental realm also is your emotional realm, because it's all tied together. So it's not only mental, but you also have to learn how to feel, how to connect and intuitively decide things. It cannot only be from a rational perspective. Because ultimately what we all look for is, let's say, things like peace, And love is not something that is mental. It is not a mental process, love. It's a feeling. So both need to be in coherence together in order to create that within your world. You can try and feel love, but if your mind is feeling other things, if your mind is thinking of other things that are creating feelings such as like anxiety or stress or depression, then how can your body also feel love? You're not allowing yourself to feel all the love that there is to feel. And so when I started my process of, you can call it shadow work if you want, but spirituality, my spiritual awakening, and connecting myself to something bigger than myself, and understanding all the reality and the abundance that exists of possibilities, and how I'm able to create what I want. With the universe, I co-create. But I gotta decide. Ultimately, my human me, my 3D me here has to decide what it is that I want. What it is that I'm going to put forward. What it is that I'm creating for the world, for me, for you, for us. For everybody, for humanity. Because I'm here and I'm part of all of this. And I feel so much gratitude for being here. How am I going to thank the universe? Become my best me. I didn't live like this as I am now all the time. I started from a place of darkness through a childhood that was very difficult and a recreation of patterns with the partner that I chose that ended up breaking me open. When I separated and I had my 1-year-old baby, things were pivoting through my pregnancy, through birth, through learning, through motherhood. That's what helped me grow. That's what helped me break open. And it doesn't matter if you don't have the same, it doesn't matter. You can seek that within yourself. What is unconditional love? I learned through having unconditional love for another human how to have unconditional love for myself. What did that even mean? So I needed to search. I started searching. I started searching within my own being. I started searching within. That's the key. It's searching within. And it started with being honest with myself. What was the world that I was creating? What was the world that I was accepting? What was I allowing to exist in my world, in my body, not the external world, in my mind, in my body, in my heart, in my feelings? Once I started to actually be honest with myself, is when I started to drastically change things. And at first, it feels so overwhelming because just like if you were to have a piece of land all of a sudden that you gotta now start to curate. I'm not a farmer either, but I can imagine how difficult that is, because just even one plant was something that was hard for me before to keep alive. So imagine a whole entire field, and it's so overwhelming. When you don't know, you don't have the know-how, you don't have the tools, you don't have the sophisticated tools, it makes it hard. But it's not impossible. If other people have done it for themselves, you can also do it. If I did it for myself, you can also do it. And I came from very, very, very deep into the darkness. And I came all the way up to the light. And I learned tools, and this is how I figured out how, and now I help other people do the same. I figured out how to continue on a path of spirituality. It doesn't mean I'm awake now. Oh my God, I'm realizing I've been on autopilot all this time. Oh, great, now I'm awake. Oh, look at this person. Look at this person. And he's not aware of anything. He's so unconscious. He doesn't understand anything. He needs to do it like this. Oh, look at her. No. I'm going to tell her, like, you need to. No. Stop looking outside of yourself. You cannot change other people, and you have to respect everyone's path. You awoke now on your own or because of a circumstance, but you did that on your own, and you were not that before. So who are you to judge someone else for where they are on their path? Maybe they will awake and they will actually surpass you and get to more fruitful garden than yours faster. You don't know. It is not your business to know, and it is not up to you to decide. That's the universe, and that's a conversation with that person and their higher self, if they're able to connect with that one day, if they haven't lost themselves or gone down a path too far. But in any event, it is not your job. And at first it feels overwhelming because we start to notice a lot more things, because now we are actually seeing through our eyes. We are actually seeing through our third eye, and we can feel and sense new things. And sure, someone's creating, feelings of trigger, like you are feeling triggered by everyone or someone or situations and places and things. You can separate yourself from that in order to take a moment to be able to slow down enough and start to really connect with yourself and feel and not be distracted by all these things and thoughts, and to be able to focus your attention within and on yourself. But you staying isolated for the rest of your life is not feasible. And you risk also going towards a path where now you keep yourself separate from others, and you are not able to see that others are love, others are a reflection of the universe, a reflection of God, a fraction of this nature that exists all around us. It is through being able to be in community with other people that we heal the most. The traumas happen through interactions with other people, exchange of energy. It is through exchange of energy that we can see ourselves better. We can start to witness our ego. And that's the key. When you start to be honest with yourself, you ask yourself, am I being honest with myself about whatever's going on in your world? And you start to observe yourself. So it takes time. Take as much time as you need. If you need to stay away from someone that's triggering you, for now, do it. But don't expect that, oh, I'm healed. I'm healed. I've worked on myself. But if you are not able to be around that person or around that thing or be in the situation without being triggered, you still have something to heal. It means that there's something that you have not gone over, because otherwise you don't get triggered. When we feel whole within, when we feel whole and we have really, really, truly worked on ourselves and are always turned towards God, you do not feel triggered. Other people cannot take you off your center because your energy is whole. You've learned to gather yourself, and that energy stays whole regardless of what the situation is. Sometimes it's stronger, sometimes it's less, right? We vibrate at different frequencies on different moments of the day. We cannot constantly be positive. We feel all the spectrum of emotions. The negative emotions help or exist because of the positive emotion. Everything is interrelated. Once we stop fighting that and we stop trying to always change or distract ourselves from the negative, for example, and we start to learn to feel it, and then we can start to learn to be with other people in their feelings and their negativity and whatever is happening in their darkness and their shadows. That's what I do for my clients. I sit with them. I sit with them and I don't try to change it for them. I allow them to feel it and change it themselves. I teach them tools in order to become and learn how to be connected spiritually, how to be and feel more love. And super important is to start being able to observe yourself. If you're constantly in a state where you are angry because someone won't change, you got to start looking within. You got to start observing yourself when you're interacting with that person. You need to watch your subconscious mind, which is the ego, your subconscious mind, and what is being, how you're relating to someone, the programming that's running you, what it is that you're saying to the other person. What is it that you're saying to the other person? What is it that... Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Don't look at other people and what you need to do in order to change them. Ask yourself, why? Why do I feel the need to control? Why am I feeling so upset? Oh, because they said blah, blah, blah. Okay. It's not about why they said something. It's about why that's affecting you. It affects us if we feel like there's a part of truth. Or if we fear that it's going to take something away from us, or that it's going to impede our own capacity to continue to stay connected. When we are in fear, we're no longer in the frequency of love. If you are in fear, you're no longer connected to source. And this is an everyday thing. We have to continually... There are times where we'll feel more connected and others where we'll feel less connected. And this is just how it goes. And we learn to accept it. And that is what going with the ebbs and flows of life is. And there's no better way of living, because then you really learn how to ride the energetic waves. The energetic waves of the earth, of situations, of other people, of yourself. And it's all a game, and it goes different layers. But you got to start with your core. You got to start with you, the center of you, who you are, what you stand for, the values that make you you, how you decide to proceed within the world, how you decide to exchange energy with other people. What is it that you want people to feel when they interact with you? Not because it's for them and you need their validation and you need them to like you. It's for you to be able to like yourself. It's for you to be able to be proud of yourself. For you to be able to unconditionally love yourself as the universe loves you. And when you feel that, and when you are that, the universe gives you tenfold. And you actually notice it and you see it. And you can see all the benefit and the intricacies of everything that exists around you. And it becomes beautiful. And you can feel all of that within every ounce of your body. Without fear. And then when you do fall back into fear in a moment or a given circumstance or through something that you're trying to work, it's part of the growth process. The plants go through thunderstorms. They go through weather, whatever's happening, the cycle of life. It just depends on how strong and how centered the core of the plant, for example, is. How much can it, how resilient can it be against the winds, for example? Right? So you got to do your part in order to ensure to keep yourself on a path of happiness, on a path of feeling love, of being connected. Not just a mental understanding of love is the only thing there is in life. You got to feel it, the core of your being, and you deserve that. So I've got several different avenues that can help you continue this path or maybe accelerate it even. We have the spiritual accelerator, which is basically every week we take you through a different aspect or a different shadow that you can look at and witness through the week, and you have integration and training that will help you propel you further and faster. Essentially, when you start asking yourself the question, like, am I being honest with myself? Why am I feeling a certain way? Without shaming yourself or guilting yourself, but through loving yourself and wanting better for yourself, for your human that's taking you through this world, that's been here. You can then decide what exists within your reality, let it go, learn to change it, change the behavior that's not helping you, change the thoughts that's not helping you. You can grow and evolve. So, DM, you can get information about that. Because asking yourself the question of, if you're being honest, you still got to do the work to integrate all of that. You still have to do the work to integrate that in order to change whatever's going on, in order to rewire your thought process that's creating that reality over and over. And there are so many different shadows that we can go through. And even if we've already worked on, for example, judgment, self-judgment, judgment of others, there's so many different layers to it. And revisiting these shadows is not a bad thing. It's you looking deeper and deeper within yourself in order to heal whatever's coming up. And you become stronger and stronger. And being with a group of other people that are doing, healing work, self-healers, you don't even need to interact. It's just the energy that you're sharing, the path. We're creating our own little collective consciousness, right? With people that are around us. So share the energy, share the vibe. Let's get you speeding up your process, because it's wonderful. You can live so much more whole and calm and peaceful from a genuine and real place. And you can continue to grow, even if you've gotten yourself on the path. You can learn new tools. You can figure out how to get more of what you want, the feelings that you want. Eliminate some of the things you don't want. Even bring up some of the things to see where is it that I can purify this? Where is it that I can purify the thoughts that are coming up? Where is it that I can create change within myself in order to grow? I grew even just by creating this some more. And it's magnificent. And I continue to grow every day. So asking yourself, am I being honest with myself? Starting to be the observer. And then going through different paths of things that can need to be healed. And you'll start to notice. So ask and you shall receive. In scriptures, it's written, ask and you shall receive. Ask yourself questions. Why am I doing this? Why is this happening? Not why is this happening outside? What is it that I'm doing that's creating this reality? What is my part in all of this? When you ask your subconscious mind these questions, your subconscious mind is a computer, and it processes, and it's going to search for the information and come back to you with a report and be like, here, this is why. And you can say, oh, okay. And that process, it's a skill, and it gets better and better. If you've never asked your subconscious mind anything, what used to take me sometimes 3 months on certain deeper topics, or 3 weeks on things that are a little easier, now takes me 3 days or 3 hours or even 3 seconds. My brain has built that skill of being able to be like, because I know myself, because I'm building my energy more and more into a core, and that core is continuing to grow and grow and grow. And from there, I can magnetize and manifest things. I don't have to work so hard from an ego perspective, because I'm growing my own energy, my energetic field. If you understand anything about quantum physics, it's your energetic field that is going to attract what it is that you want. But you also got to take action in order for those things to happen. So I invite you to just have a conversation with me or someone from my team, and let's see if the spiritual accelerator is for you, how we can help you grow a little faster, or even subscribe to our newsletter. It's just a monthly thing, and it's just full of goodness, and that goodness is gonna help you feel better, live better, be better, and just grow. Growth is the goal for 2024. Growth in all aspects of life, growth within yourself, growth within your outer world. Let's just keep the growth going. Thanks for being here with me, and I look forward to hearing from you soon. Bye.